Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this signing ceremony for the Series A Afrique Naira Denominated Bond. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join with us today. Without further ado, I'd like to call someone to the microphone. Join with me as we welcome the Acting Chief Financial Officer and the Head of Treasury, who was instrumental, as you all know, in bringing this transaction to a close, Mrs. Beatrice Mbu. Thank you.
And I want to thank you, our partners. We have sojourned this journey from last year in February when we commenced the transaction, and we were able to close this transaction 20th of April, which was this week, 20th of April 2022. Going forward, as we have a program of about 200 billion, we're looking forward into issuing out of the remaining 200 billion from the program, and we look forward to working with our current partners, and thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice. Moving forward, moving swiftly ahead, I'd like to call the MD of FSDH, Mr. Tolu Oshinibi. So please join me in welcoming him with a round of applause.
Good morning, ladies and gents. I am Tolu Oshinibi, MD FSDH Capital, the lead issuing house on the transaction. I'm extremely happy this morning to be at this point. This has been a significant and milestone transaction. Significant because it's the first time we're having an issuer like Shelter Afrique. Milestone because, one, it's the first time we're having a supranational like Shelter Afrique issue a Naira bond, and this is the first supranational bond issuance in over 9 years in Nigeria. So again, thank you very much, Shelter Afrique, and to my colleagues on the deal, I thank you all for your support, for your assistance, and congratulations to all of us. Thank you.
All right, let me ask the Acting Managing Director to join us for his brief comments. Kingsley Mowowo, please take the mic.
It's a good time to be Nigerian and to be Nigerian. So at Shelter Afrique, this is an occasion for us to celebrate. But behind the celebration of this debut bond, there are parties we must acknowledge. So it is my solemn duty to first of all thank the lead arrangers, FSDH, and all the syndicate members for this success. And we as Shelter Afrique, we're extremely delighted. So on that note, I thank you so much and look forward to doing business in Nigeria. Nigeria is right for business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley. We're moving towards the actual signing ceremony. So we have quite a number of documents to sign. So I'd like to ask for your indulgence as they sign. And then we'll move the program to the press conference and bring it to a swift end. Thank you.
My name is Chima Nwokoji. I work for Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria has about 17 million to 21 million housing deficit. Given your experience, Shelter Afrique, this latest entry into Nigeria, what percentage do you think you can reduce that housing deficit to? Thank you.
When we look at housing, you can't look at it in isolation. It's also the impact that comes with the housing. So it's jobs that you're creating, it's societies that you're changing in terms of upliftment. And so when we look at impact, housing is obviously the primary impact, but we also look at what are those underlying secondary impacts that also come with those benefits.
My name is Nume Ikoyi from This Day newspaper. I understand that your company has been in operations for 44 years. I want to know how much of an impact, especially on the housing deficits you've had in Nigeria. And then the funds you just raised, where would the houses be located? Is it just going to be in Lagos, or is it going to spread across Nigeria? Yes, I think that's it. Thank you.
I have a figure here that in the last 40 years of Shelter Afrique, we have delivered 26,700 houses. And that comes to the second question, where? Lagos and Abuja. Thank you.
My name is Yanko Chitsime. I am the Head of Business Development at Shelter Afrique.
So 40 years of successfully supporting what does that look like for
Well, it looks exciting because now even more so we need to create jobs. Even more so people need places to live that are decent and affordable. So I think if anything, it increases the impetus for us to do more than we have done even pre-COVID.
In terms of background, what I'd like to say that the capital markets are the best for supporting housing. Why? Because they are able to offer quantity, and number two, they are able to offer long tenures, which is what is needed for the housing sector. Why Nigeria? Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa, and number two, Nigeria is our second largest shareholder, and we have issued our debut bond to be able to support housing in Africa and to be able to reduce the current large deficit of houses in the market.
The key takeaway is that, look, there's still more work to be done to educate the investor community about what Shelter Afrique is looking to do, because it is such a huge impact on our domestic market, and you really want the institutional investors to be fully behind it and supportive, because Shelter Afrique will become a repeat issuer in Nigeria. This is not a one-off. This is the beginning of, Shelter Afrique raising money to fund housing in the local market. So there has to be continued engagement with the investor community so that they're more familiar with Shelter Afrique, they're aware of what it's doing, and we should make the appetite even stronger for future deals.
Kenya, that's where the headquarters of Shelter Afrique is. So in Kenya, we've issued more than 10 bonds, beginning as far back as 1995. Then we've gone outside to the CFA, the Francophone zone. There's a CFA zone there. We have done 5 issues beginning about 2003. Now, the good thing about Nigeria is, given the size of the economy, more than 400 billion US dollar GDP, a lot of fund managers here, it was easy now to pitch to the investors to invest in this instrument. This one, mind you, is just series 1 of the 40 billion. There's still 160 billion to tap, because we have registered the 200 billion program. So this is just a start.
Thank you very much.